Hey, so this is an exercise that's aiming to improve clavicular motion relative to the rib cage. I know this position can be used for a lot of different things, namely the lower body along with the torso, but we're going to mainly restore position of the clavicle in relation to the rib cage, also in relation to the rest of the cervical neck. So take this exercise as you may, and hopefully you feel better as an outcome of doing this exercise.
So this seated side lying exercise is going to have a couple different reasons why we're doing it. You're going to experience compression on one side, meaning of the torso, expansion of the other side of the torso, along with when we integrate it, you can get different mechanics involved of the neck, the clavicle, along with the humerus if you so desire. On top of this, you can also get static posturing or static positioning of how the hips are oriented. So I'm going to jump right into it. You can do this on both sides. So what we're going to do is you're going to sit down like this, and then you can either go to the right or to the left. So in this case, I'm going to face this way, and then I'm going to turn my body so my right leg just drops and my left leg just drops. So what I'm going to do from here, I have a plate here. So depending on the individual's leverage, whether or not they have longer arms, a shorter torso, or vice versa, you might need something here to prop up the certain posture that we're looking for. So what we're trying to get here is something where we get a slouching to the side position. So if I can describe it better, when I have a plate underneath my hand, it raises me up a little bit, and it allows me to get a stretching sensation and expansion on this right side of mine, and then it allows me to sit into my left side a little bit better. So again, this is more of a straight up and down posture. And then when I get this sensation, I get a stretching sensation right here on the side of my rib cage. And I also get a little bit of stretching sensation down here by the lower rib cage. And then I'm just going to sit here. I'm going to take a good inhale. And then as I exhale, I'm going to think of bringing my body down just a little bit more. Obviously, I'm pretty static, so it's not going to happen. I'm not going to get 6 inches of movement, but I'm just going to get a millimeter of movement to feel a bigger stretch here, perhaps greater compression there. So this is just the static posture. So I'm achieving the position. Now we can achieve some sort of dynamic movement here. So if I involve the respiration component, or even if I reach towards the camera, I'm actively reaching this hand so that I get a bit of, not rotation this way, but I'm getting a little bit of a reach so that my torso and my pecs do not kick on as I reach, which will allow for my sternum to get a little bit of rotation. And I feel a greater stretch when I go for that longer exhale of the duration. To speak about the lower half, this right leg is in relative external rotation, and this leg is going to be in relative internal rotation. So what I can do is I can get a little bit more adduction, thinking of my left leg going into the ground, and I can think of my right leg getting abduction, as in pushing this way. So I can theoretically feel my glutes on one side and then my adductor on the other side. So maintaining these two things, posture here, position here, hips here, now I can add that respiration cycle. And I want to make sure this very last thing happens. I want to make sure my distal clavicle right here goes upwards. Otherwise, I might not be achieving what I want to achieve in terms of improving how the clavicle can move independently of the rib cage, and especially the first rib. So I'm going to go again. Now, I did speak about integration. Integration meaning, what can we do with our neck? What can we do with our eyes? How do those things play into what we do from a posture and position perspective? Well, what we can do is, if I do this same movement, or perhaps if I switch sides, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to achieve the same position, and then I'm going to add a neck side bend where I can think of my ear going to my shoulder in this position. So I'm going to achieve all the same things I just did, right? So this leg is now internal rotation, this leg is external rotation. I'm going to sink here. I'm going to get relative motion of my neck. I'm not going to lean forward like this. And then I'm going to go. So I can do that on both sides to get a good effect. So again, relative posture, relative position. I'm just gonna sink, thinking of my torso is over this way. I'm getting a stretch on my right side here, the whole side. Get relative position of my hips and my femurs. Exhaling. So I can look straight ahead and I can look a little bit to the left in terms of peripheral vision. And I can even begin to feel stretch in my right side of my neck as I do this.